Miss Lowell, I'm the representative from Elysian Havens, Inc., assigned to you. Are you certain you wish to forsake everything and live out the rest of your days in the isolated sanctuary our company has created? Luna Lowell paused for a moment, then answered with a firm, yes. Understood. I will shortly send the service package you pre-ordered to your phone for confirmation. If there are no issues, our company will dispatch a team to the sanctuary in advance to build the home you desire. You can start building it now. You can come and get me in half a month. Very well, Miss Lowell. I wish you all the best in your current life. Hanging up the phone, Luna gave a bitter smile. All the best. All she could do now was pray for the best. She looked up at her reflection in the mirror. She was wearing a graceful, floor-length gown, the diamonds embedded in the fabric glittering with a mysterious light. The haute couture dress fit her perfectly, accentuating her exquisite figure. Miss Lowell, are you dressed? Do you require any assistance? No, I'm ready. As Luna walked out of the dressing room, Ethan Croft, who was waiting outside, held his breath, a flash of awe in his eyes. Luna, Ethan circled her, his eyes filled with adoration. You will undoubtedly be the most beautiful person here tonight. The designer chimed in enthusiastically. Miss Lowell, Mr. Croft designed this dress for you himself several years ago. He truly loves you. Your love is the envy of everyone. Ethan took Luna's hand, his face a mask of deep affection. Luna, I used to imagine how you would look in this dress. Today, seeing you wear it right before my eyes, as he spoke, he was so moved he even shed a tear. The team standing by couldn't help but marvel at how deeply Mr. Croft must love Miss Lowell to be so emotional in her presence. Unlike the aloof, proud, and composed man he was in public, his gaze, when it fell on her, was always gentle and patient. It had been that way for years. At this very moment, Ethan presented a necklace to her. His eyes downcast, he whispered softly, Luna, I searched for this diamond for a long time before I finally bought it from a private collector. It's called the Starlight. I feel it's the only thing worthy of you because you will always be the star I look up to. So I had it made into this necklace, and I want to give it to you. Will you let me put it on for you? She thought that no woman could remain unmoved by such a scene, but only she knew what this man had done behind her back. After the dress fitting, the makeup artist began to work on her look. Ethan sat patiently to the side, occasionally handling some business. His longtime personal assistant came in to report, Mr. Croft, the recent news has been handled. The negative press has been suppressed. That's enough. Don't bring these matters up in front of Luna, Ethan interrupted him coldly, his eyes shifting to her. Luna knew perfectly well what was happening. Ethan's assistants were all top graduates. They wouldn't make a foolish mistake like discussing such things in front of her. It was all a deliberate performance for her benefit. Luna, don't worry. I'll handle all of this. You just need to relax and wait to become my missus. Croft, Ethan said, taking her hand and smiling, his eyes full of anticipation. All right, Luna replied with a calm nod. Ethan's brow relaxed. He glanced at a message on his phone and then said, Luna, something urgent has come up at the company that I need to handle. Can you wait for me here? I promise I'll be back before the party starts. Okay. Luna remained perfectly calm. After watching him leave, she opened her phone and saw Celeste Lowell's social media post. Just moments ago, Celeste had posted a new photo on her feed. It was a picture of her in a formal gown, the hem stained with red wine. She had captioned it, My birthday and my dress is ruined. So sad. It was her usual blend of cute and proud, designed to be endearing. In the comments section, everyone they knew was comforting her, promising to arrange for the best and most beautiful gown and to prepare the biggest surprise for her. Meanwhile, the birthday post Luna had made for herself today seemed to have been ignored, with only a few sparse comments. What she couldn't understand was why, despite being identical twins, her family, her friends, and even her fiancé didn't love her. They only loved Celeste. Even their names set them apart: Celeste, the celestial light, and her, Luna of the night. What's more, it was she who had been with Jasper Morgan in the beginning. But somewhere along the line, everyone around her started to favor Celeste and distance themselves from her. Even Jasper had cut off contact with her to prove his devotion to Celeste. Only Ethan had remained by her side, always appearing whenever she needed him, drying her tears and offering warmth. So, after being abandoned by Jasper one more time, She decided to let go and give herself and Ethan a chance. And so they fell in love. She thought she had finally chosen the right person, that she had finally found someone who loved her wholeheartedly and without reservation. Until the day she went to find Ethan and overheard a conversation between him and his best friend. "Ethan, are you really going to marry Luna Lowell?" "Yes. Sisai feels guilty about what happened to her, so I'll marry her to put Sisai's mind at ease. But Luna's family doesn't care about her. Marrying her won't benefit you at all. If you really like one of them, why not try to pursue Celeste? Sisai loves Jasper Morgan. I just want her to be happy. If Jasper ever wrongs her, I will absolutely take her from him." "But isn't that unfair to Luna? I will give her everything a Mrs. Croft could want in the eyes of the public." And now, a single post from Celeste was enough to make Ethan rush to her side, fawning over her. Luna's eyelashes fluttered down, and a single tear fell. The makeup artist's hand paused, her expression anxious. "Miss Lowell, is something not to your liking? Did I hurt you?" Luna wiped the corner of her eye and regained her composure. "No, please continue." It didn't matter. Soon, none of this would have anything to do with her anymore. Ethan had said he would come back for her. After her makeup was done, Luna began to pack her things. The clothes with their tags still on and various pieces of jewelry were listed on a luxury consignment site. She took off the necklace and placed it on the table. The love letters Ethan had written to her, Luna burned them all in a single blaze. Her only relief now was that she had long since established her own legal residency, so she didn't need her family's permission for anything. By the time she finished, Ethan still hadn't returned. The only messages on her phone were from her family. "Luna Lowell, if you don't show up tonight, you can forget about ever getting what your grandmother left you." Her grandmother had passed away a few years ago. The things she had left behind were the only mementos Luna cherished. Attending this party was her only way to get them. Luna didn't wait for Ethan any longer. She hailed a cab to the Lowell residence herself. When she arrived, the grand hall was ablaze with light. Celeste was leaning against Ethan's shoulder, feigning sleep. They looked like a perfect couple. Ethan's expression held a tenderness she had never seen before. A wave of self-pity washed over Luna. The man she had been waiting for all evening was already here. He hadn't given a single thought to how inconvenient it was for her to be alone in a custom-made gown. "HMPH, so you finally decided to show up." The moment the door opened, an ashtray flew toward her. Luna couldn't dodge in time, and it grazed her forehead, leaving a cut. "Luna," Ethan saw her and started to move forward, but Celeste stirred as if about to wake, and he immediately sat back down. "Luna, you're so late. Hurry up and apologize to your father," Ethan said. "Sisai is tired, so I let her rest on my shoulder. I know you won't mind. It's your own fault for being late." His tone was full of blame, completely forgetting he had promised to pick her up. Luna pressed a hand to the cut on her forehead, looking at the group of strangers before her. "Give me my things and I'll leave." "Lulu, don't be difficult. Why would you leave? You'll join your father and mother at the party later. Go take care of that cut first. Be good now," Ethan said. He thought he was being caring, but only Luna knew how fake his tone was. Celeste awoke amidst the commotion, rubbing her sleepy eyes. "Sister, I rested on brother-in-law's shoulder for a bit. You're not mad, are you?" "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to," she said, moving to link her arm with Luna's in a show of coquettish affection. Luna replied, "Of course I'm not mad. After all, you're Mom and Dad's precious treasure." The moment she finished speaking, Celeste cried out and stumbled backward, collapsing onto the floor. "Ah, my leg," Celeste sat there, her eyes welling with tears. "Sisai, are you all right?" Celeste, the three of them immediately rushed to her side at her cry of pain. "My Luna, Celeste is a dancer. How could you do that to her?" Ethan shot Luna a disapproving look before hastily carrying Celeste off to find the family doctor. "Luna Lowell, you are a true disappointment," her father, Harold, said angrily. "Slap her mother," Martha struck her across the face. "What's the point of talking to her? A vicious person like her deserves to be unloved and uncared for." Ethan's reproach and Martha's caustic words hurt far more than the slap. Luna let out a small laugh. Why was she still holding on to any hope? Wasn't she about to leave anyway? Luna composed herself, her lifeless eyes fixed on her mother. "Mom, I won't say anything more. If you want my cooperation tonight, give me the safety locket grandmother had made for me. I will voluntarily give up everything else." Otherwise, I'm leaving right now. Fine. So you're threatening us now. Go get her things, Harold snapped at Martha, then turned to glare at Luna. You'll get what you want, but if you don't behave tonight, don't even think about leaving. Don't worry, Mr. and Mrs. Lowell, I will cooperate fully. Luna didn't linger. She took the locket her mother handed her, fastened it around her neck, and walked out. Butler Giles brought a doctor to tend to Luna's wound and then had a makeup artist help conceal the mark. Looking at the only person in this house who still cared for her, Luna's sense of grievance reached its peak. She fought back tears. After tonight, she would never set foot in this place again. By the way, Butler Giles, where is Ethan? Mr. Croft is with the second miss. He said that since she was injured because of you, he couldn't rest easy unless he watched over her personally. The butler watched Luna's face as he spoke, but her expression remained wooden. The joint birthday party was a grand affair. The great families mingled, their conversations a mix of pleasantries and business dealings. No one paid any mind to Luna, who had left long ago. At the end of the party, Luna took one last photo with them and departed. Jasper Morgan, Ethan Croft, and a group of friends stayed behind to help Celeste open her presents. In the car, Luna's fingers unconsciously opened Celeste's social media feed. When they were in school, she would often scroll through it, imagining that she was the one who was so doted upon. Over time, it had become a habit. She would check it whether there was a reason to or not. Just moments ago, Celeste had posted an update, a photo of the magnificent party venue. In the background, their family sat together, Celeste smiling brightly. Her caption read, "Everyone I love is by my side." In the photo, Ethan's gaze was fixed solely in Celeste's direction. Perhaps he didn't even realize it himself. But the way he looked at Celeste was filled with a genuine tenderness and love that was completely undisguised and utterly different from the affection he performed for her. Luna put down her phone and laughed at her own past foolishness. She really was an idiot. No one had ever loved her, not from childhood to now. How could she have believed Ethan? How could she have walked so unguardedly into the trap he had woven? Was it his decade of unwavering kindness that had made her fall for him? But then again, who in the world could have imagined someone would go to such lengths for the person they loved? Celeste liked sweet food. She preferred things with a bit of spice. The dining table at home had always been filled with Celeste's favorite dishes. Later, when Ethan started pursuing her, all the dishes on the table became ones she loved. Knowing she had a sensitive stomach, he made sure every meal included a nourishing soup. Knowing she loved shrimp, the heir to the Croft group would peel them for her with his own hands. When she was sick, Ethan would stay by her side. This time, in the photo, his eyes were only for Celeste. She suddenly remembered that on several occasions when Jasper and Celeste were fighting, both men would show up with bruises. At the time, she had felt sorry for Ethan's clumsiness. Whenever Celeste needed something, he would always say he had to work overtime at the company and wouldn't be home. If Celeste posted on her feed one day about something she wanted, the next day Ethan would have a business trip to wherever that item could be found. Luna's lips twisted into a grimace. There were so many coincidences between them, yet she had never once been suspicious. If it weren't for the truth she had accidentally overheard that day, she might have been deceived indefinitely, right up until the wedding, right up until Ethan could no longer keep up the act. The next morning, Luna opened her eyes, still a bit dazed. She tried to move her hand and found it pinned down by something heavy. Turning her head, she saw Ethan sitting by the bed, his head resting on her hand, fast asleep. A stiff smile touched her lips as she forcefully pulled her hand free. "My Luna, are you still angry with me?" Ethan woke with a start, his expression aggrieved. "Last night, it's not that I didn't want to protect you. It's just that your uncle and aunt were truly furious, and Celeste is your sister. I was afraid that if word got out, it would reflect badly on you." Luna's expression was placid. "I'm not angry." "Really?" Ethan's brow furrowed, as if he was deeply concerned. "Really?" Luna gave him a gentle smile. Ethan relaxed and sat up, embracing her. "My Luna, I love you. Men always say the sweetest things after they've done something wrong." She'd read that online somewhere. Luna thought it made a lot of sense. "My Luna, yesterday was your birthday too. I had someone buy you a famous painting by the artist Leclerc. Also, this is a gift Celeste asked me to bring you. She said you'd definitely like it. She still cares about you, my Luna. It's just your uncle and aunt." Ethan produced the painting and a small box. Luna reached out and opened it. Inside was a doll. Though it had been well preserved, it was still an old toy. When she was younger, Luna would get jealous and upset over her parents' preferential treatment. She had once cried because her parents took her sister out to play and bought her a doll but not her. She'd thrown a tantrum, wanting the same one. It was just a small doll, but they had never given in. Now, Celeste was giving this to her. It was just her way of saying that Luna Lowell would only ever deserve her cast-offs. Luna smiled. She wouldn't take it. She wouldn't take any of it anymore. Put it away for now, Ethan. I'm hungry, Luna said, closing the box and changing the subject. My Luna, what do you want to eat? Let me make it for you. Before he could finish, Ethan's phone rang. Ethan, dear, sis, I twisted her ankle this morning. It must not have healed from her fall yesterday. Her father and I can't get away, and Jasper is out of the country today, so we'll have to trouble you to take her to the hospital for us. What? Is she badly hurt? I'll be right there. Ethan shot up, not even noticing that he had nearly pulled Luna off balance. He rushed to the door, then seemed to remember something and turned back, looking at Luna with a troubled expression. My Luna, your aunt asked me to help your sister. I'll just take her to the hospital. What do you want to eat? I'll have Mrs. Gable come and cook for you. Go on. It's nothing here, Luna interrupted him gently, giving him another smile. Staring at the empty room, Luna thought, if he had stayed just a moment longer, or been a little more observant, or cared about her just a little more, would he have noticed that everything in the room that connected the two of them was already gone. For the first time in a long while, Celeste sent her a message. Knowing it was nothing good, Luna's fingers still obediently tapped it open. The photo was clearly taken from Celeste's perspective. Ethan was kneeling on the ground, like a knight guarding his princess, massaging her ankle. Sister, brother Ethan is so good to me, but don't get the wrong idea. He's definitely only being this nice to me because of you. He must be even better to you, right? I'm so envious that, in the end, you still have someone who loves you so much. Celeste's words were dripping with sarcasm, each one a polished barb. Though it was a truth she already knew, Luna couldn't help but feel another pang of disappointment. Late that night, Ethan returned, a chill clinging to him from the night air. My Luna, have you eaten? I passed by the Gilded Spoon and remembered you love their shortbread cookies, so I brought you some. Want to try? Luna had no appetite and was in no mood to play along with his act. For the first time, she refused his peace offering. Ethan, I don't want any, I don't like those anymore. You can take them away. Ethan froze, stunned. He could tell Luna was in a bad mood, and while he wanted to say something, he also felt a flicker of impatience. After a long moment, he managed to compose himself. My Luna, please don't be angry anymore. He saw Luna sitting before an easel, her back to him, staring at something. Her slender figure exuded an indescribable loneliness and sorrow. Ethan paused, then couldn't resist walking over and wrapping his arms around her, burying his head in the crook of her neck. My Luna, what can I do to make you stop being angry with me? Ethan's voice was muffled. Luna's heart remained unstirred. Ethan, I'm not angry. Let go of me, I'm painting. Ethan straightened up and the canvas came into full view. My Luna, is this? Yes, I promised to paint one for you. I haven't had the time until now, so I thought I'd finish it for you today. A sense of complete calm settled over Ethan. If Luna were truly angry, she wouldn't have remembered her promise, let alone painted for him. A pang of guilt struck him. My Luna, he thought, I will give you everything I can, everything except my heart. Luna stared at the painting before her, memories of the past flashing through her mind before vanishing into the heavy darkness of the night. She had once planned to give it to him as a wedding gift. Now, she had to finish it before she left. The next day, Ethan woke up early to prepare. He needed to propose soon to ensure Sisai could live as a carefree princess in both the Lowell and Morgan families with a clear conscience. He had the custom-made ring delivered, and then, with Luna on his arm, led her to the restaurant. Only then did Luna realize he had planned a proposal. Ethan led her to the center of the room and knelt on one knee. My Luna, all this time, I've been so honored and happy that you chose me in the end. As he spoke, Ethan's voice choked with emotion. If she hadn't known it was all because of Celeste, she might have actually believed he loved her that much. Looking at the man before her, Luna felt a complex mix of emotions. He truly was an excellent actor, having fooled everyone. Ethan took out the ring and held it up to her. "My Luna, today I want to ask, will you marry me?" Ethan had finally said the words. Luna gave a gentle smile, trying to avoid arousing suspicion. Without saying much, she simply murmured, "Yes," to show her agreement. Ethan was visibly overjoyed. Just as he was about to place the ring on her finger, a commotion erupted outside. "Fire! Run! There's a fire!" Realizing what the shouts were about, Ethan's face changed. He instinctively grabbed Luna and started running for the exit. Just as they reached the entrance, he saw Celeste's close friends scattered about, frantically telling people to go back inside and rescue someone. There was still someone trapped. Ethan instantly grew tense. Forgetting everything else, he let go of Luna's hand and ran over to them. "Who's still inside? Is Sissy in there? Tell me, Mr. Croft. Sissy's inside. We can't get in, Mr. Croft. Please, you have to save Sissa." Before they could finish, Ethan had already plunged back into the building, pushing against the flow of people. Luna watched him from behind. Her heart, which had finally found some peace, began to crack. A cold wind gusted in, and her entire body went stiff. The rescue team had arrived and was heading upstairs to extinguish the fire. "Watch out!" a familiar voice shouted from behind her. Luna didn't have time to react. The window of an adjacent burning room, already loose, crashed down and struck her squarely in the back. Luna, Ethan, and Jasper Morgan cried out in unison. Ethan had sustained some minor injuries while protecting Celeste on the way out, but they were nothing compared to Luna's condition. He held the unconscious Celeste in his arms, glanced at Luna lying on the ground some distance away, covered in blood, and then looked back at Celeste, whose brow was furrowed in discomfort. Ethan hardened his heart. Ignoring both Jasper and Luna, he quickly carried Celeste out of the building. Luna watched Ethan's retreating back until it disappeared. She could no longer hold on and fainted. When she woke up again, she found Jasper Morgan, whom she hadn't seen in a long time, by her side. "Luna, are you okay?" Jasper swallowed the rest of the sentence. "Jasper, what are you doing here? How are they?" Luna asked, surprised, enduring the pain from her injuries. After all, they hadn't seen each other since he got together with Celeste years ago. "They're both fine, but the doctor said you'll likely have scars." It was a cruel fate for any woman. Jasper found himself hating that he hadn't rushed forward to shield her that day. "I see. As long as they're okay," Luna said, unconcerned. A woman adorns herself for the one who delights in her. For her, now, it didn't matter if she had scars or not. Jasper's heart ached for her. He opened his mouth, but the words wouldn't come out. "Luna, don't accept Ethan's proposal." A flicker of surprise crossed Luna's eyes. Jasper was actually telling her not to accept Ethan's proposal. As if sensing her confusion, Jasper clenched his jaw and finally said it. "Ethan is with you for Celeste." After all they had been through, Jasper didn't want to see her walk into a marriage built on lies. To his surprise, Luna had no reaction. It quickly dawned on him that she already knew. "You already knew. Then why are you still with him? Is it because of me?" Luna didn't elaborate, only saying, "No, it's not because of you." Jasper understood her meaning, and a strange discomfort settled in his heart. Did she love Ethan that much? So much that she would stay with him even knowing he was deceiving her? "Since you already know, I'm sure you have your own plans. Get some rest." "I'll be going now," Jasper said, his tone turning a bit cold as he stood up. Though Ethan wasn't seriously injured while rescuing Celeste, he had inhaled a lot of smoke and couldn't use his voice for a short time. Just then, a crisis erupted at his company, and he had to leave in a hurry before he could even check on Luna. That morning, Luna was still deep in sleep when she felt a heavy pressure, making it hard to breathe. Alarmed, she opened her eyes to find Ethan lying across her chest. He smelled of dust, as if he had just returned from a business trip. Luna tried to sit up, but Ethan wouldn't let go. After a few tries, she gave up with a resigned sigh. "What are you doing here? I missed you." Ethan's voice was still hoarse and raspy. He said no more, his voice catching in a sob. "I was so worried about you these past few days. My Luna, don't worry. I'll find the best doctor to remove the scars on your back." Luna replied, her mood clearly low. Ethan sensed it. "Are you angry because I saved Celeste?" he asked, his voice tinged with grievance. "I'm not angry." It was the same reply. Ethan suddenly realized that for some time now, whenever the topic of Celeste came up, Luna would say those exact words with the same detached tone. I was just thinking, sis is your sister, and it was an emergency, so that's why I went. My Luna, she's your sister after all. I love you, so I couldn't just stand by and watch your sister get hurt right in front of us. Ethan, we're twins. I was only born a few minutes before her, Luna interrupted. Ethan was speechless. He looked at her stiffly. My Luna, please, just believe me. I only love you, my Luna. I believe you. I want to rest now. You should go home, Luna said, looking at him earnestly. Her face was blank, and an inexplicable unease crept into Ethan's heart. Still, he did as she said and left. He would talk to her again once she was better. Oh, by the way, my Luna, the proposal ring, I lost it in the chaos. But I've already ordered a new one. That day was unlucky anyway. In a few days, I'll throw you another proposal ceremony so everyone can witness our love. At the door, Ethan seemed to remember something and turned back to look at her. Okay, I'll be waiting for you, Luna said, her gaze soft as it met his, full of longing yet hiding a steely resolve. Ethan invited everyone they knew, including Celeste, to Oakwood Estate to set up the proposal scene. They all stayed overnight on the mountain. Ethan, I heard there's a really effective chapel of love at the summit. You should go pray to Cupid to make my sister say yes to you sooner, so you can finally get married, Celeste said, her eyes filled with malice as she deliberately teased Ethan in front of Luna. My Luna, do you want to go? Ethan reluctantly tore his gaze away from Celeste and turned to Luna, asking her gently. Luna had been discharged from the hospital early. Tomorrow, she would be leaving. She didn't want to spoil everyone else's fun. Let's go. I'm sure everyone wants to see it. The Chapel of Love was indeed bustling. Besides their group, many others had come up from the other side of the estate to pray for love. See, I told you this place was great. Come on, let's go to the wishing tree and make a wish to Cupid, Celeste said with a proud little air. Luna noticed Ethan's gaze remained softly fixed on Celeste, like an adult indulging a playful child. They bought many red ribbons and wrote their wishes on them. My Luna, what did you write? Ethan was curious, but Luna didn't tell him. She only said, a wish won't come true if you say it out loud. That's true, but I'm sure any wish my Luna makes will come true. Luna believed it too. Her wish would definitely come true. Her wish was to never see Ethan Croft again for all of eternity. Ethan, however, wrote several wishes. The others teased him, asking if he was praying for Luna to say yes tomorrow or for their future happiness. Ethan smiled and didn't deny it, though his eyes occasionally flickered toward Celeste. An idea sparked in Celeste's mind. She accidentally dropped her red ribbon on the ground. From where they were standing, Ethan and Luna could see it clearly. She had written, I hope brother Ethan will have a complete and happy life forever. Luna looked at Ethan. He was radiating a deep, bone-deep satisfaction, the kind of fulfillment that comes from being seen and even cared for by the one you love. As night fell, the group prepared to head back to the estate to rest. Luna lagged a few steps behind. She found the person who had been tying the ribbons to the tree, transferred some money to them, and asked for their help in retrieving the ones Ethan had just written. Taking the red silk ribbons, Luna unfolded them and read, I hope Sisai will be happy and fulfilled. May Sisai always be a happy little girl. My only wish is for Sisai's health and safety. I hope my little Sisai receives all the love in the world. One after another, they were all about Celeste. Luna thought there was never a trace of me in his heart. Her last lingering doubt was resolved. She could leave without any attachments. Just as Luna turned back, she saw Ethan searching for her. My Luna, where did you go? What took you so long? It's nothing. The mountain air felt nice, so I sat for a little longer. That's good. Let's head down the mountain. Only when she returned to the estate did Luna find out that Celeste had taken a small fall earlier. Ethan had carried her back, and only then realized Luna hadn't returned, which is why he had gone back up to find her. Looking past Ethan, Luna saw Celeste standing to the side, her eyes red and teary, playing the part of a pitiful victim for everyone else. But when her gaze met Luna's, there was a hint of provocation, as if to say, even though he's going to propose to you, I, Celeste, am still the one he cares about most. Luna suppressed her emotions and returned to her room. She made a call to Elysian Havens Inc., asking them to pick her up in the early morning hours. Then, she went to Ethan's room to find him. Ethan, I love you. The 27-year-old Luna Lowell said these words to Ethan one last time on behalf of the 21-year-old Celeste Lowell. At 21, heartbroken after being viciously humiliated by Jasper Morgan in front of Celeste, Luna had run out in despair. While waiting at a red light, she was hit by a truck whose driver had fallen asleep at the wheel. Her life hung by a thread. It was Ethan who, worried about her, had followed her out. He stayed with her all the way to the hospital, arranging everything for her. At the time, she had lost a massive amount of blood and the hospital's supply was low. Ethan had told the doctors to take his blood, as much as she needed. Because of him, Luna's life was saved, though he remained weak for a long time afterward. When Luna woke up and learned everything, she cried at his bedside, praying to the heavens. Her sobs woke him, but his first words were, "My Luna, don't cry, I'm fine. As long as you're safe, I'm willing to do anything." In that moment, Luna truly believed she had found someone who loved her more than her own parents. And in that moment, she completely let go of Jasper Morgan and prepared herself to be with Ethan. But just when she thought she was about to grasp happiness, fate played a cruel joke on her. She discovered that it was all a complete and utter deception. Ethan was indeed a person deeply devoted to love, someone who would risk his life for the one he cherished. But she was not the person he was devoted to, nor the one he loved. Luna's gaze upon Ethan was filled with a profound meaning, a mix of reluctance and longing that ultimately hardened into resolve. Ethan didn't notice. He was overcome with a sudden, thrilling joy because Luna hadn't actively expressed her love for him in a very long time. "I love you too, my Luna." Ethan couldn't resist kissing her forehead. Luna didn't push him away and returned his kiss with a goodnight kiss of her own. "My Luna, after tomorrow, I'll start preparing for our wedding. Do you prefer a warm spring or a comfortable autumn? I'll have your aunt consult an almanac for an auspicious date. Let's get married, shall we? I really, really want to marry you." A sense of unease gnawed at Ethan. He held Luna tightly, seeking confirmation. Luna didn't answer his question, only saying, "I like spring." Ignoring the flicker of strangeness, Ethan gazed at her tenderly. "All right, then we'll have our wedding in the spring." Back in her room, Luna removed her SIM card, broke it in half, and flushed it down the toilet. Then, she waited calmly for the people from Elysian Havens Inc. to arrive. As dawn broke, Luna left the estate with a small bag, her steps light. No one noticed her departure. The team sent by Elysian Havens Inc. was reliable. They avoided all nearby surveillance cameras. "Goodbye to a place where no one loved me. I'm going to love myself now." The sanctuaries established by Elysian Havens Inc. were a series of private islands with no direct flights. She first had to fly to a nearby company outpost and then take a company helicopter to her own island. Fortunately, she had saved a lot of money before coming here and had the company stock her island with a large supply of necessities. Just in case, she also subscribed to a supply cruise that would deliver fresh goods periodically. The representative from Elysian Havens Inc. informed her that her identity in her old life had been legally dissolved. If she ever wanted to return, she could contact him again to have it reinstated. During the journey, Luna couldn't help but marvel. She wondered what kind of power the person behind this company possessed to make someone vanish without a trace and reappear in a place like this. By the time Luna finally arrived at her own sanctuary and completed the property and title transfer, a full day had passed. Looking at the manor built according to her own design, a spark of joy ignited in Luna's heart, and the fatigue of her journey couldn't dampen her happiness. As she approached the main gate, the system on the side automatically recognized her face and opened for her. The facilities inside were all top of the line, many of them fully automated. In addition, countless flowers had been planted, and staff had been arranged to tend to them. Luna scanned her surroundings with deep satisfaction. This was where she would spend the next several decades of her life. Just as Luna was about to go looking for the family she had custom ordered, the doors of the villa in the courtyard opened, and a kind-faced couple emerged. Seeing her, they both smiled. There was no surprise. They had been informed of her arrival and were waiting here to welcome their future daughter. Luna studied the couple before her. They looked to be in their 50s, full of life. They, in turn, were observing their new daughter. They had been briefed on their client's situation before arriving, and seeing the quiet, well-behaved girl before them, they couldn't help but feel a pang of sympathy. If they had a daughter like this, they would have cherished her in the palm of their hands from the very beginning. But from now on, she would be their daughter. They would love her dearly. The woman was the first to speak, introducing herself and the man beside her. "My name is Alina Payne, and I am the mother you requested. This is Arthur Payne, the father you requested. Our situation is a little different from the others. We are a real married couple and we once had a daughter, but sadly, she passed away at a young age. We've gradually come to terms with it over the years, and after retiring, we applied for parenting positions here. But don't you worry, Luna. In our hearts, you are you and she was she. We will never see you as a replacement for her. We will love the one and only you with all our hearts." A bittersweet feeling washed over Luna. Although they were the parents she had hired, the compassion in their eyes was genuine. They had truly seen and understood the deepest, most sensitive parts of her heart. Luna's eyes reddened. She stepped forward and embraced them. Mom, Dad, meanwhile, back at Oakwood Estate. After the late-night festivities on the mountain, everyone slept in until nearly noon. Ethan's mind replayed Luna's confession from the night before, and a flicker of joy he hadn't even registered himself sparked within him. After getting ready, he unconsciously found himself at Luna's door. He knocked gently. "My Luna. Luna, it's time to get up. My Luna, I'm coming in." Luna was always a light sleeper. It was impossible that she hadn't heard him. For some reason, a bad premonition suddenly gripped him. Did Luna not want to accept his proposal after all? No, that can't be. My Luna loves me so much. It's impossible. Ethan muttered to himself, recalling that Luna had been acting strangely for a while now. Last night was especially odd, but he had been so caught up in her rare expression of affection that he had subconsciously ignored the feeling of wrongness. Just as he was about to open the door, Celeste walked by. "Brother Ethan, are you looking for my sister? She's probably not up yet. I didn't see her go out this morning." The moment Celeste appeared, Ethan instinctively ignored everything else, his gaze fixed solely on her. "Sis, Brother Ethan, you don't have to say anything. Sis, understands. Brother Ethan is good to Sis, Celeste wore a small, triumphant expression. Ethan smiled back warmly. This was the Sis he loved, so vibrant and adorable. She was worth doing anything for. Ethan's hand, which had been about to turn the doorknob, loosened. He looked at Celeste. "Sis, let's go eat first. We'll let Luna sleep in a little longer." In the dining room, everyone noticed Luna's absence and was a bit puzzled. Where's sister-in-law? She went to bed too late last night. I went to call her, but she was still asleep. Ethan answered casually. How do you know she went to bed late? Someone teased. Hey, last night I went out for a midnight snack, and who do I see? And sister-in-law hugging. Sister-in-law even said, "Ethan, my love, I love you." "You brat, what nonsense are you spouting? Hurry up and eat. Isn't all this food enough to shut your mouth?" Ethan laughed and gave his friend a playful slap on the back. Ethan sat down with Celeste, leaving an empty seat for Luna beside him. He periodically served Celeste food and soup. The others at the table saw this and exchanged smirks, but no one dared to cross Ethan. That's why they say Ethan's a lovesick fool. Look at him, already sucking up to his sister-in-law before he's even married the sister. Someone who didn't know the full story made the joke. Ethan's hand froze mid-air. The food he was about to give Celeste was redirected into his own bowl. An awkward silence fell over the table. They finished the meal without another word, each finding an excuse to go outside and set up the venue. By afternoon, Luna still hadn't emerged. The unease in Ethan's heart grew stronger. He went to her door, his hand hovering, then dropping. He was suddenly afraid to push it open. "I'll wait a little longer. I'll go get Sissy. We aren't married yet. It wouldn't be right for me to go in unannounced." Ethan tried to convince himself, turning to find Celeste for help. When Celeste came and opened the door, they found the room completely empty. Luna was gone. The anxiety in Ethan's heart finally solidified. His face, which had been all smiles for Celeste, froze. Luna was gone. Brother Ethan, sister, maybe she just had an emergency and left. She might not have had time to tell us, Celeste said, a flash of annoyance crossing her mind as she saw Ethan's expression. Right, my Luna must have had an emergency. Sis, can you call your uncle and aunt and see if she went home? Celeste didn't want to make the call. She put on a look of sorrow. Brother Ethan, you know sister has never liked me or mom and dad. She never goes home unless she absolutely has to. Sissy, what if? What if she really did have an emergency and went back? For the first time, Ethan cut Celeste off forcefully, his eyes pleading. Celeste forced a smile and reluctantly dialed her father's number. "Hello, Dad, is sister home? Your sister? Would she come back? What would she come back for?" Harold's voice was laced with sarcasm. Ethan overheard it, but he couldn't dwell on it now. He took the phone from Celeste. "Uncle, it's Ethan. Luna was gone when we woke up today. I was just wondering if she might have gone home." "Ethan? No, she hasn't come back. What's wrong? Did something happen? Did that disgraceful girl cause trouble again? Or did you two have a fight?" Harold's immediate assumptions grated on Ethan's ears. They had always treated Luna this way. Why had he never found it jarring before? "It's nothing, Uncle. If Luna isn't there, that's fine. I'll keep looking." Ethan hung up. Ignoring Celeste, he picked up his own phone and began calling Luna. "Beep, beep, the number you have dialed is temporarily unavailable. The subscriber you are dialing is currently on another call." He tried several times. It was always busy. It slowly, belatedly dawned on Ethan that Luna had blocked him. Ethan found one of his friends and dialed the number he knew by heart. "The subscriber you have dialed has been switched off. Please try again later." He tried with several different people. It was the same every time. Ethan finally, completely understood. Luna was really leaving. She had cut off all contact with them. The people around him noticed his grim expression and felt a strange sense of unease. They remembered that Celeste hadn't been present at lunch either. Could it be? Their poorly concealed glances made Ethan even more sensitive. He avoided their eyes and told everyone to carry on playing. The proposal was off. Luna hadn't gone to the Lowells. In the vast city, there were few places she could call her own. Perhaps she had gone back to her own little apartment. Besides, even if she was leaving, she would have to go back and pack her things first. The more Ethan thought about it, the more it made sense. He called the staff at her villa. The moment the call connected, he asked impatiently, "Where's Luna? Has she come back?" The maid on the other end was surprised. "Mr. Croft, Miss Lowell hasn't returned. Go check her room. See if she came back secretly. And check if her things are still there." Hearing the urgency in Ethan's voice, the maid hurried to Luna's master bedroom. There was no one inside, and many of her belongings were gone. Guessing what had happened, the maid quickly reported back. "Mr. Croft, Miss Lowell isn't here, and a lot of things from her room are missing." "What? How do you people do your jobs? You didn't even know when she came back to pack her things." Ethan was furious. "Get the head butler to check the security footage at the gate, see if Luna came back today." A short while later, the villa's butler called him back. "Young master, Miss Lowell did not return. I also did a thorough search of her room and found that she took almost nothing. Even the starlight necklace you gave her was left on the table. And what? Spit it out." "In a corner of the room, I found a small, burnt piece of paper. It looks like it was part of a letter that was burned, and this corner survived. It has your name on it. It looks like one of the letters you wrote to Miss Lowell." As the butler spoke, Ethan's heart sank completely. He threw all caution to the wind and sped out of the estate. He had to find her. On the road, Ethan's mind cleared slightly, and he started to think. For the past 2 weeks or so, Luna had been acting strangely, but he hadn't given it much thought at the time. Had he done something in the last fortnight that made her decide to leave for good? Or was it? A thought struck him, and he slammed on the brakes. During the proposal a few days ago, he had saved Sissy, and Jasper Morgan had saved Luna. He later heard that Jasper had stayed in the hospital room with Luna until she woke up. Had they said something then? Had Luna's old feelings for Jasper resurfaced? Jasper had abandoned her. Could she possibly still have feelings for him? The thread of reason in Ethan's mind snapped. He dialed Jasper Morgan's number directly. "Hello, Ethan Croft, why are you calling me? To gloat that Luna is with you now?" Jasper was in a private room at a bar. He knew Ethan was proposing to Luna today and couldn't bear to hear her say, "I do," to someone else. So even though Celeste had invited him, he had made an excuse not to go. Jasper gave a bitter laugh. He really was a jerk. When Luna was chasing him, he loved Celeste. Now that Luna was with someone else, he couldn't stop thinking about her. Pathetic. Ignoring the drunken slur in Jasper's voice, Ethan only asked, "Where are you right now?" Jasper answered automatically, "The Grandeur Bar," then hung up. Ethan made a sharp U-turn and sped toward the location Jasper had mentioned. Bang, the door to the private room was thrown open. "Jasper Morgan, where is Luna Lowell? Where have you hidden her? Give her back to me." Ethan rushed up to Jasper, his composure gone. "What are you talking about? Weren't you proposing to her? How could she be with me?" Jasper retorted then, as if realizing something, his tone shifted. "Luna, she's gone, isn't she?" Seeing that Jasper genuinely seemed to be in the dark, Ethan felt a wave of confusion, followed by the pressing question of where Luna could possibly be. Seeing his frantic state, Jasper felt a grim satisfaction. He had originally thought Luna would stay with Ethan even after learning the truth. It turned out she had been planning to leave all along. This was good. They had both wronged her. Why should Ethan get to be happy? Compared to Jasper's own straightforward rejection, Ethan's deception made him even less worthy of her. "Ha ha ha, Ethan Croft, I may not know where Luna went, but I can certainly tell you why she left." Ethan looked at Jasper, the unease in his heart growing stronger. "What reason?" "During the fire, you saved Sissy. Luna was on the ground, watching as you carried Sissy away, step by step, until you disappeared from sight. Only then did she finally pass out." Ethan froze. He hadn't been thinking clearly then. For so many years, he had been conditioned to put Celeste first. He hadn't meant for it to happen. "And," Jasper's lips curled into a smirk, his eyes locking with Ethan's. "In the hospital room that day, I told Luna that you were only with her for Sissy's sake." Before he could finish, Ethan's fist connected with his face. "Bastard, hey," Jasper touched his lip, unfazed. "Do you want to know how Luna reacted when I told her?" Ethan grew tense. He was afraid to hear the answer. He knew he had hurt her. "She had no reaction at all. She already knew. At the time, I was so jealous of you. I thought, does she love him that much? So much that she would stay with him even after knowing he was lying to her. I never imagined she was already preparing to leave. Ha ha ha. You call me a bastard, but at least I was clear and honest with her. And you, Ethan Croft, you kept her in the dark, luring her step by step into your trap. Do you think you're some kind of saint? Compared to me, you're the one who deserves this." Jasper advanced on Ethan, his eyes boring into him. With every word, Ethan's confidence crumbled. He fled. Watching Ethan's panicked retreat, Jasper felt a surge of triumph mixed with contempt. Between the two of them, it was just the pot calling the kettle black. But where could Luna have gone? For so many years, she had been the invisible one in their circle. He couldn't think of anyone who would help her, nor could he imagine where she would go. Jasper downed another glass of wine. Luna is gone. That's for the best. None of us who failed her deserve to be by her side. The more he drank, the clearer his mind became. He had to break off the engagement with Celeste. He didn't want to be with her anymore. Only now, after all these years, did he realize what a deep and indelible mark Luna had left on his heart. When she had adored him, he had taken it for granted, subconsciously believing she would always be there waiting for him. But then she had turned to Ethan, and now she had simply vanished from all their lives. If he broke off the engagement with Celeste, when Luna came back, could they possibly have another chance? The idea grew stronger in Jasper's mind. He decided he would go to the Lowells first thing in the morning to break off the engagement. Jasper glanced at the mess behind him and walked out, looking at the unsent number on his phone. He smiled and turned off the screen. Meanwhile, Celeste had already gone home and told her parents what had happened. Martha Lowell looked at her daughter, a sense of unease creeping in. "Harold, do you think that disgraceful girl, Luna, had second thoughts at the last minute and went back to that Morgan boy?" It was an idle guess, but it set off alarm bells in Celeste's mind. Harold, too, grew worried. The three of them exchanged a look and headed for the Morgan residence. Perhaps because Luna and Jasper's past relationship had been so dramatic, the few who knew about it all instinctively assumed that Luna had gone to find Jasper. However, Jasper wasn't home. The Morgans managed to persuade the others to leave, keeping the Lowells behind once they learned the purpose of their visit. "Jasper isn't home. How about I ask him when he gets back?" Mrs. Morgan forced an unnatural smile. She had once been very fond of Luna as a potential daughter-in-law, but then Jasper had insisted on breaking up with Luna to be with Celeste. Now, Mrs. Morgan truly couldn't guarantee that her own foolish son hadn't gone off to get entangled with Luna again. "My dear Mrs. Morgan, our children are about to be married. If Jasper really did something like this, it would be a disgrace for both our families, don't you agree?" "Yes, but I'm sure Jasper wouldn't do such a thing." Mrs. Morgan's smile was barely holding. If Celeste hadn't seduced Jasper in the first place, and if her stubborn, idiotic son hadn't fallen for her tricks, things wouldn't have come to this. And now they had the gall to threaten her. A dark resentment festered in Mrs. Morgan's heart. She almost wished Jasper had run off with Luna. "Dad, Mom, I want to break off the engagement with Celeste." Jasper announced his intentions before he even fully entered the room. His parents' faces changed, as did the Lowells. They all immediately assumed Jasper had hidden Luna away. Jasper walked in and saw the 5 grim faces. He guessed they had overheard him, which was just as well. It saved him a trip tomorrow. "Uncle, Auntie, I am breaking off my engagement with Celeste. As compensation, I will provide her with a certain settlement." "What nonsense are you talking, you foolish boy?" Mrs. Morgan grabbed Jasper and scolded him. "Jasper, you're about to marry Sissy. We've already sent out the invitations. What is this stunt? Is that disgraceful girl Luna with you?" "Uncle, Auntie, Luna is not with me." But no one believed him. If he hadn't helped her, there was no way Ethan couldn't have found her. "Jasper, you're a mature heir now. You should know what's best for you," Harold Lowell said, looking at him with disapproval, as if he had committed some unforgivable crime. "Luna Lowell is such a troublemaker. Does she just love stealing everything that belongs to Sissy?" "Jasper, listen to your aunt. Luna is my own daughter. I know what kind of person she is. She's an ungrateful, shameless wretch. You may cover for her today, but you'll regret it tomorrow." Martha Lowell was panicking, simultaneously belittling Luna while desperately trying to protect Celeste from any slight. Jasper gave a bitter smile. Just seeing how her parents treated their 2 daughters told him everything he needed to know about the life Luna had led. He couldn't imagine how much she had suffered growing up, and he and Ethan had been the ones to make her give up on them completely. "Uncle, Auntie, Luna really isn't with me. If I could, I would wish she were, so at least I'd know how she is and could protect her from being bullied, instead of being completely in the dark and worried sick like I am now." Seeing Jasper's frustrated expression, Celeste knew he was probably telling the truth. But she wasn't worried about someone like Luna. She just hated that Luna hadn't left sooner. Even in leaving, she had to string these 2 men along, making both Jasper and Ethan act like they were deeply in love with her. It was humiliating. Celeste's teeth ground in hatred, but she had to put on a show. "Mom, Dad, I believe Jasper. Sister is probably just in a bad mood or has something else going on and doesn't want to be disturbed. Let's go home for now. I'm sure Uncle and Auntie don't know anything either. There's no point in us being here. Let's go back and try to find her properly. I'm worried about her being out there all alone. You're just too kind-hearted. She's not worried about us, so why should we worry about her? Just let her fend for herself," Martha said callously, as if Luna were not her daughter but an enemy. "Well, how about this, Mr. and Mrs. Lowell? We'll also help look for the girl. The city is a big place. She shouldn't have been able to get too far too quickly." Mrs. Morgan, not wanting to hear any more of their talk, quickly smoothed things over. The Lowells nodded and left. Jasper looked at his parents resolutely, repeating that he was breaking off the engagement. "You child, you're such a trial. When you were with Luna, we were thrilled, just waiting for her to join the family. Then you wanted to break it off and be with Celeste. Your father and I had to swallow our pride, give up shares and projects just to arrange the switch for you. And now, just a few years later, you want to break it off again. Do you think it's fun to play with us like this?" Mrs. Morgan pointed at Jasper, scolding him with frustration. His father stood by, chiming in his agreement. They told Jasper to stay home and reflect for a few days, then had someone start investigating Luna's whereabouts. Ethan's investigation discovered that Luna's legal identity had been dissolved. They couldn't even file a police report or use her personal information to find her. Ethan couldn't help but think of Luna's strange behavior recently. An empty feeling spread through his chest. "My Luna, how much preparation did you do to be able to leave so completely?" She had arranged everything perfectly. The clothes and jewelry, except for that one necklace, were all consigned, the proceeds donated directly to charity. Their memories, the objects that held them, were all destroyed. His Luna was truly ruthless. Except for him, she had taken nothing with her. While chaos reigned in the city, with several families turning it upside down to find Luna, she herself had already settled in. This morning, her new mother and father had woken up early to make homemade ravioli. She had a hot, steaming bowl as soon as she got out of bed, the three of them sitting together in joyful harmony. After the meal, to pass the time, her father taught her some chess, and her mother joined her in flower arranging. Getting to know her new parents, she learned that they were both retired professors from a prestigious university, one in literature, the other in art. Both had a deep interest in traditional culture. They had been willing to apply for a position in the sanctuary because, 1, they wanted something to do in their retirement. 2, they wanted a child to enjoy family life with. And 3, they wanted to be secluded from the secular world and live in peace. After learning her mother was an art expert, Luna begged her to paint with her. She showed none of the bossiness of an employer toward an employee. She truly treated them as her own parents. Arthur and Alina looked at Luna, deeply gratified, while simultaneously cursing her birth parents in their hearts. How could they bear to treat such a wonderful daughter so cruelly? 3 years later, hello, Miss Lowell. This is your representative from Elysian Havens, Inc. We are planning to hold some promotional events in a few of the sanctuaries. If you are willing, I would like to sign you up. Luna had been living her dream life in the sanctuary for several years. In these 3 years, she had the love of a mother and father, spent her days painting with her mom and learning about traditional culture with her dad. Her life was content and happy. Her parents' love had gradually softened the sharp edges she had built around herself. She slowly learned to open up and express her needs to them. She hadn't had any contact with the outside world for a long time, nor had she paid any attention to what was happening back in the city. Seeing the message, her first instinct was to refuse, but then she thought of her parents. After some consideration, she agreed. The island had been quiet for so long. Maybe it was a good opportunity to liven things up and reconnect with the outside world a little. What kind of event is it? Can I decide on the format myself? Of course, Miss Lowell, absolutely. The main purpose is to have some journalists visit and promote our sanctuaries. Naturally, we will not disclose the specific location to them, and they will not travel by conventional routes. What format would you like to have, Miss Lowell? The person on the other end was waiting eagerly. Seeing Luna agree, his heart leaped with joy. He was getting a bonus this month. Although the CEO's order was that participation had to be voluntary and no one could be forced, the representatives received a bonus for every sign-up. Of course, he had to be enthusiastic. I'd like to hold a small art exhibition for my parents and my paintings. It's not about technical skill, just for a bit of fun. Excellent, Miss Lowell. I will send a team over next month to assist you. After the report was submitted, the CEO of Elysian Havens, Inc. raised an eyebrow. Of all the people who had come to him, Luna Lowell was the youngest. A glance at her background made it clear why. He had assumed she would never want contact with the outside world again. He was surprised that she was one of those who agreed this time. Alastair Dean found himself curious. This Miss Lowell was indeed different. He thought for a moment, then called his secretary and arranged a trip. He wanted to visit the owners who had voluntarily signed up. After communicating with her representative, Luna first named her sanctuary. She called it Fortuna because she had been so fortunate to meet her parents here and the kind aunts and uncles who treated her so well. Here she had found her purpose. She loved to paint and was happy to lose herself in the world of art. Miss Lowell, hello. I apologize for the intrusion, but our CEO would like to visit you and the other owners who have volunteered. Would that be convenient for you? The CEO of Elysian Havens, Inc. Luna was actually quite keen to meet him. She had always been curious about who had the power to spirit people away from all over the world without a trace and even legally dissolve their former identities. After some thought, Luna agreed. She really wanted to thank him in person. If not for the services he provided, she had no idea how she could have ever left the city so quietly. One morning, Alastair Dean arrived on the island with a few assistants. This island was the closest to the main outpost. One of the reasons it had been chosen as Luna's sanctuary was to give her an easier way out if she had regrets during the trial period. She was just so young compared to the other clients. So, when it came to visits, the first stop was Luna's Fortuna Island. Of course, his real intention was simply to meet Luna. Luna had instructed her butler, Mr. Linden, to have the manor decorated early. She also asked her cook, Mrs. Anna, to prepare some specialty dishes. Then, she and her parents waited for the legendary Mr. Dean. Yes, from her parents, she had learned the CEO's surname was Dean, but they had never met him. Luna racked her brain but couldn't recall any prominent families with that name in the city. She decided to stop thinking about it and just wait and see. The system detected unfamiliar faces outside. Luna's heart gave a jolt. It seemed Mr. Dean had arrived. Having not interacted with strangers for a long time, Luna wasn't afraid of Mr. Dean, but she was a little worried about being impolite. She operated the system to open the gate. As it swung open, Alastair Dean's eyes met Luna's. Her hair was tied in a simple side braid, adorned with a few jasmine flowers. She wore a long white dress, looking elegant and beautiful. But her seemingly delicate appearance was at odds with the strength in her eyes. 3 years had passed, and she looked even younger than in her old photos. Perhaps being loved makes one carefree. Luna, in turn, was observing Alastair. He had deep-set eyes, looking as though he might have mixed heritage, and a tall, reassuring build. He was just very young, not what she expected from the founder of Elysian Havens, Inc. Since when did I start judging people by their appearance? Luna thought with a small smile. Mr. Dean, welcome, Luna said with a smile, stepping forward to greet him. Hello, my name is Alastair Dean. I'm very happy to see you looking as you do now. They spent the day in pleasant conversation, leaving a very good impression on each other. In the blink of an eye, it was time for the art exhibition. Alastair had his assistant bring a group of people to the island to tour the exhibition. He himself pretended to be an island resident, standing off to the side as if it had nothing to do with him. The sanctuary he had initially created was actually for himself. It was only later that he had the idea to turn it into a business, to build a secluded paradise for people all over the world. Thus, he had no desire to be photographed and recognized. Seeing Alastair's pretense, Luna caught his eye and couldn't help but laugh out loud. Alastair looked at her helplessly. They had exchanged contact information during their first meeting and had since spent much time discussing art. They were no longer strangers, but felt a sense of being kindred spirits. With the end of the exhibition, Luna's pen name, Lyra, became a minor sensation in the art world. This mysterious Lyra had brought them an exhibition of immense artistic value. The journalists hadn't taken any photos of Luna, only an audio recording of her interview. But even from the recording, industry insiders could tell she was young. To have such skill at her age meant her future was boundless. Some had even started inquiring about purchasing Lyra's paintings. Ethan Croft never paid attention to the art world. Only when Luna was around would he listen to her talk about it. So when his friends mentioned this mysterious Lyra, he just gave a bitter laugh. My Luna wasn't skilled in traditional painting. Her forte was sketching and oil painting. Lyra, we wanted to ask, what made you decide to settle here? Well, because I wanted to make a clean break with the past, and also to be properly loved here and to find my own purpose. Thank you, Lyra, for your answer. Hearing that interview, Ethan froze. He was absolutely certain that it was Luna's voice. He rushed toward his friend, practically snatching the phone to look. There was no video, only sound. But even if there was only a 1 in 10,000 chance, he had to verify it. He had to find Luna. Ethan frantically sought out the group of journalists who had gone to the sanctuary. From the scattered bits of information they gave him, he learned that the place was completely isolated from the world. They had been disoriented on their way there and were not allowed to use any positioning devices. But because of this, he was now 100% certain. It had to be Luna. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been completely without a trace for so long. Only in a place so cut off from the world could he have failed to find her. Ethan's heart pounded with excitement. For the past 3 years, his life had been miserable. He had always seen Celeste as his guiding star, habitually putting her first and ignoring Luna. Only after Luna left did he realize how terribly wrong he had been. It was Luna who cooked for him, Luna who watched over him when he was sick. Yet he had deceived her from the very beginning, using her as a tool, a stepping stone for Celeste. The thought made Ethan feel utterly dejected. He had not been well these past few years, and Jasper Morgan was in a similar state. The two of them had traveled all over the world on business trips, searching for Luna, but they could never find her. She had truly and completely disappeared. Now, with this tiny clue, Ethan cast aside his recent exhaustion. He wanted to find her immediately. But he knew that his strength alone was no match for the person who had been able to spirit Luna away so silently. So, he thought of Jasper. As long as he could find Luna, he was willing to go with Jasper. He wanted to see her with his own eyes. Even if she wouldn't come back with him, he just wanted to see for himself how she was doing. So, he sent the interview link to Jasper. Less than a minute later, Jasper's call came through. "What have you found? Is this Luna?" Jasper was agitated. "There's a 90% chance it's her. That's her voice. But I can't find her alone. I need you with me." Jasper understood what he meant and agreed without hesitation. He had the same thought. The person who had hidden Luna for so long was certainly more powerful than they were. They couldn't afford to underestimate them. After some investigation, the two of them finally pinpointed the location of Elysian Havens Inc.'s main outpost. That day, from her balcony, Luna saw the shadow of a cruise ship in the distance. She was used to it, assuming it was just a routine supply delivery, and didn't think much of it. She went downstairs and set up her easel in the sea of flowers outside the manor. It was a vast expanse of precious chrysanthemums, each clump a different variety, each with its own unique beauty. Luna stood amidst the flowers, picked up her brush, and began to paint. This was something her mother had been teaching her for the past 3 years. Today's painting wasn't a sudden whim. She wanted to create a piece for her parents, to wish them a happy holiday. Thinking about her life over the past 3 years, Luna's heart filled with happiness. Suddenly, a trembling voice called out from behind her. "My Luna." Luna's body stiffened. She didn't turn around. She had already guessed. They had found her after all. But the Luna of today no longer cared. Time was the best balm for all wounds. Moreover, she now had her parents and another person who was always on her mind. "Is that you, my Luna?" Gazing at the back they had longed to see for so long, Ethan and Jasper could barely suppress their emotions. But they were afraid she would disappear again, so they dared not step forward, afraid it was all a mirage. Meanwhile, Harold and Martha Lowell looked at the elegant figure before them, their eyes reddening. In the years after Luna left, Celeste had dropped her pretense, and only then did they understand that it had all been Celeste's manipulation. But were they not also at fault? Luna had tried to explain, but they had never once believed her. "My Luna," Jasper finally couldn't hold back any longer. "I've broken off my engagement with Celeste. My Luna, can you turn around and let me see you?" Hearing this, Luna found it laughable. What did his breakup with Celeste have to do with her? She thought it and she said it. Her words choked Jasper, but they also confirmed that the person before him was indeed Luna. The stone in his heart finally dropped. It really was her. After 3 years, he had finally found her. After asking her question, Luna went back to her painting, offering no further response. She had once loved and hated him, but now she was slowly letting go. She would not turn back. "My Luna, I'm sorry. I've thought a lot these past few years. I used to overlook everything you did for me. It was only later that I realized Celeste was misleading me. Of course, I know I have a huge part of the blame. I was too quick to believe her, and I was the one who hurt you. My Luna, I don't expect your forgiveness. I just want to see if you're doing well." Hearing Jasper's sincere apology, the resentment in Luna's heart dissipated. She turned to face him, her expression serene, waiting for him to continue. "My Luna," Jasper's gaze was tender. He studied her carefully, as if searching for the slightest trace of unhappiness that would give him an excuse to ask her to come back. But to his disappointment, she looked truly happy. Her brow was smooth, and a constant, faint smile played on her lips. He couldn't even find a reason to persuade her to return. In the next moment, Jasper cursed himself internally. It was good that she was doing well. He couldn't destroy her current life because of his own selfishness. "My Luna, it seems you've had a very good 3 years. That makes sense. You're such a wonderful person. Leaving us meant leaving the source of your pain. A life without us, I imagine it must be wonderful." As Jasper spoke, his expression was a mixture of pain and wistfulness. These words had been buried in his heart for years, and now he could finally say them. "It's all in the past." Luna's expression was still placid, but his belated apology stirred ripples in her heart. She had never been unworthy of love. It was they who had been unworthy of hers. Hearing her finally respond, Jasper's heart thrilled, even though it wasn't the response he had hoped for. At least they could now speak civilly. Then he remembered something else. "There's one more thing, Luna. It was Ethan Croft who first told me about your whereabouts. I just managed to get here before him. Ethan should be on his way soon? Thank you for letting me know. Luna was about to see him off when Alistair arrived. He had been visiting her frequently lately, claiming he wanted to learn about traditional culture, but his intentions were obvious. Luna could see his feelings, and after a brief moment of hesitation, she decided to give him a chance. Having been so well-loved these past few years, Luna was no longer the timid person who shrank from the one she admired. Her affection for Alistair was open and honest, without games or pretense. She was letting things develop naturally. If she wasn't happy, she would leave. She had already found her own purpose in life and no longer needed someone else's favor to feel she existed. Thinking this, Luna smiled at Alistair. She was truly grateful to him for providing such a place, for giving her parents who loved her so dearly, and for allowing her to grow into the person she was today in just a few short years. Jasper watched as Luna's face unconsciously bloomed into a smile for the man before her, her eyes filled with a tenderness that sent a dense web of pain through his own heart. Once upon a time, she had looked at him that way. He was the one who hadn't cherished it. Forcing a smile, Jasper didn't press Luna about who the man was. He just said, "My Luna, just seeing you once is enough. I should go?" Luna didn't ask him to stay, simply saying, "All right." The man, Alistair, smoothly began to pack up her easel. Jasper almost fled the island. "My Luna, I hope the rest of your days are as carefree and happy as what I've seen today," Jasper murmured as the cruise ship pulled away, watching the island shrink into a small black dot on the horizon. "Luna's back and Alistair's here too, come on in. Your uncle made something delicious today," Eleanor Payne called out, an apron tied around her waist. The past 3 years hadn't aged her. Instead, they had softened her, making her appear even more gentle and kind. Arthur Payne was busy in the background, occasionally looking up at the three of them with a smile that wouldn't fade. "Luna, Alistair, hurry inside. The last dish is almost ready." It's Luna's favorite honey-glazed ribs. Knowing Alistair's feelings, and seeing that Luna had no objections, the couple already considered him half a son-in-law. After 3 years together, although Arthur and Eleanor had lost their own daughter, they now had Luna, and they truly, genuinely loved her as their own child. They had come to adore her. Luna was respectful and considerate of her elders, showing none of the arrogance of an employer. This would be the place where they would live out the rest of their days. There was no distance between the three of them. They were the very picture of a happy family. The four of them entered the house, laughing and talking. At the dinner table, all three doted on Luna. Her parents served her food, and Alistair peeled shrimp for her and cut her an apple into the shape of a rabbit. They all knew that what Luna needed was their unique, undivided affection, but this was also what they wanted and were willing to give her. After dinner, Luna went to the second-floor balcony to gaze at the distant lighthouse. Alistair brought out a plate of fruit and placed it beside her. "Luna, Alistair gathered his courage, but hesitated the moment he was about to speak. Luna saw his predicament and looked at him with a playful, teasing expression. Alistair suddenly blushed. In all his years, he had never been in a relationship. His parents' failed marriage had made him wary of it. He had once thought he would spend his entire life on the deserted island he had created for himself. But ever since meeting Luna, everything had changed. When he couldn't see her, he felt time stretch on endlessly, and nothing held any joy. Seeing that Luna was just looking at him without any sign of rejection, Alistair finally spoke again. "Luna, I like you. Will you be my girlfriend?" His unconscious stammer made Luna chuckle. She had loved 2 men with a passionate, all-consuming fire, but in this moment, nothing felt as reassuring as Alistair's simple purity. Seeing her silence, a flicker of disappointment crossed Alistair's mind. Maybe it's too soon. Maybe she's not ready yet, he told himself. He would wait until she was ready. It was his own fault for being so hasty. He worried she might think him frivolous. While he was lost in thought, Luna agreed without hesitation. She never thought she would meet someone and start a relationship so quickly. It was probably because Alistair was just so good. He never pretended to be someone he wasn't in front of her. From the moment they met, she could see that they were both people who had been unloved. Because of this, they cherished each other deeply. And because of this, Luna agreed without a second thought. She also wanted to be in a relationship where the love was mutual, with no neglect, no deception, where he would always put her first. Luna's agreement made Alistair jump up and down like an excited schoolboy. Luna burst into laughter. It had been a long, long time since she had laughed so freely. With him, she didn't need to be reserved. "Luna, can I hug you?" Alistair asked earnestly after calming down, not at all embarrassed about having lost his composure in front of her. Luna looked at him, then stepped forward and gave him a hug. "Alistair, thank you. Thank you for coming into my life. Thank you for giving me this new beginning." Luna said this in her heart as Alistair held her tightly, as if she were a long-lost treasure he couldn't bear to let go of for even a second. After that night, Arthur and Alina noticed a change in the atmosphere between the two. They exchanged a knowing smile, happy for Luna. Having lived for over half a century, they could see the depth of Alistair's affection for Luna, and they could also see that he was a kind and responsible man. They felt at ease with Luna being with him. "By the way, Luna, have you seen the news from back home recently?" It was another beautiful day, and Alistair had come to find Luna again. He always found all sorts of excuses to see her, but Luna never called him out on it. They shared a small, secret understanding and a knowing smile. "What is it? Did something happen?" Luna was painting the sweet osmanthus in the courtyard. Since she had started traditional painting, she had fallen in love with it. Often, she would paint, and her mother would offer suggestions and they would grow together. Alistair puffed out his chest with pride. "Luna, your painting, The Sanctuary, won the gold medal. Your name, Lyra, is famous now. You have no idea how many people are clamoring for your work. A single painting of yours is worth a fortune. It looks like you'll be the one supporting me from now on." Alistair's voice grew softer. His Luna was so talented. Alistair was bursting with pride, making it feel as if he were the one who had won the award, not her. But Luna knew he was just teasing her. With the income from Elysian Havens Inc., Alistair was already a billionaire many times over. He certainly didn't need her to support him. It was just his way of deliberately showing vulnerability in front of her, a gesture Luna gladly accepted. The Sanctuary was the painting she had made to commemorate their relationship, shortly after she and Alistair got together. It was the only painting in 3 years that her mother hadn't offered any advice on. Her mother had simply looked at it and sighed. If only Luna had started traditional painting earlier, she would have been famous at a young age. What a shame. What's there to be ashamed of? Luna is wonderful just the way she is now, her father had retorted from the side. Luna smiled as she watched her parents bicker, her heart full. This life was already everything she had ever wanted. Life is never perfect. She had spent the first 2 decades of her life waiting to finally find true happiness. In a way, wasn't that a kind of fortune? "Luna, do you want to go to the award ceremony?" Alistair continued. The ceremony itself wasn't important. He just hoped Luna would be willing to go out and see the world. Perhaps it was because he was with her now, but Alistair no longer loathed the outside world. On the contrary, he longed to travel the globe with Luna, leaving their footprints in every corner of the earth. "I don't want to go to the ceremony, but I'd love to go out with you. Shall we go see the Aurora Borealis?" Luna immediately understood his unsaid words and stated her own wish directly. Perhaps it was the unconditional love from her parents and Alistair that had made Luna so wonderfully bold. But they thought it was wonderful. In the past, she had always put others first, catering to everyone's feelings. Here, she could finally just be a girl, occasionally being playful with her parents. Their love was the source of her confidence now. Alistair was powerless to resist any version of Luna. He just found her utterly adorable and readily agreed to her idea. Being needed by Luna was what he had always wanted. Whatever she asked for, he would do his utmost to provide. During their trip, under the dancing northern lights, Alistair proposed to Luna. They were then married in Andorra, a country where divorce was unheard of, a place where their love could be witnessed and sealed. Ethan arrived just as Luna and Alistair returned from their trip, their bond stronger and more passionate than ever. With Ethan were Harold Martha and Celeste Lowell. In the past 3 years, without Luna to serve as a foil and a scapegoat, Celeste's mistakes had no excuses. Harold and Martha, their suspicions raised, finally investigated and learned the truth. It had always been Celeste who was disobedient, and Luna who was the quiet, well-behaved daughter they had once imagined. They wanted to confront Celeste, but she fell to her knees before them, her eyes red, her face pale, her voice choked with sobs. "Mom, Dad, I was just scared. I was afraid that if you loved my sister, you wouldn't love me anymore. I'm so sorry, Mom and Dad. I just love you so much. I was so afraid of losing your love. I shouldn't have done it. I'll go find my sister and bring her back. After that, I'll leave you alone. You have to take good care of yourselves in the future." Their hearts softened. She was, after all, the child they had raised in the palm of their hands. It was just a case of sibling rivalry, a temporary misstep. It wasn't unforgivable. "You silly child. The palm and the back of the hand are both flesh. How could a mother love one and not the other?" Before she could finish, Martha choked on her words. Hadn't she done exactly that to Luna? Seeing her mother's expression, Celeste knew she was thinking of Luna and quickly added, "I knew Mom was the best mom, just loves us in different ways." "Mom is the best mother," Martha sighed. She felt Celeste had a point. She had simply loved in the wrong way. When she saw Luna, she would explain everything properly, and Luna would surely understand. Harold and Martha reverted to their old ways of treating Celeste. Only Celeste knew that a crack had formed between them, one that could never be repaired. So, when she learned they had found her sister, she was terrified. She was afraid that when her parents saw Luna living a miserable life alone, they would be reminded of her mistakes. She was also afraid that Luna would take the opportunity to complain to them. If that happened, once Luna returned home, there would be no place for her, Celeste, in the family. So she had to find an excuse, claiming she wanted to apologize to her sister in person and tag along. The past 3 years had been hell for Ethan Croft. Because he had so thoroughly hurt Luna, the first thing Jasper Morgan did after pulling himself together was to launch an attack on the Croft group. At the time, Ethan was still mired in the pain of Luna's departure. He had cast aside his company, with no heart for work. The Croft Group suffered a huge blow, losing a significant portion of its shares and billions in assets in an instant. The company was severely damaged, and the board of directors became dissatisfied with Ethan, believing his emotional impulsiveness made him unfit to lead. He had no choice but to force himself out of his stupor and prop up the Croft Group. Now that he finally knew where Luna was, Ethan's heart filled with anticipation. When he saw her, he would apologize properly and bring her back. He would treat her well from now on, love her with all his heart. He believed Luna would forgive him. After all, she had once loved him so much. Now that he knew his mistakes, he would give her everything he could to prove his resolve. He dreamed of marrying her. The 4 of them, each with their own agenda, arrived on the island. Seeing the beautiful scenery and the well-ordered manor at the heart of the island, Celeste's heart filled with resentment. She had thought that without the Lowells and Ethan, Luna would be living a miserable life. She never imagined she would be in such a wonderful place. Heaven was truly unfair. Why did Luna always get to have all the good things so easily, while she had to scheme and plot for everything? She feigned a sigh of relief and said, "Mom, Dad, I can't believe Sister is staying in such a nice place. I'm so glad she hasn't been suffering outside. You would have been so heartbroken, and I would have felt so guilty. It's a relief she's been living well these past 3 years." Her words instantly inflamed Martha's emotions. That's right. For 3 years, they had worried about Luna, searching for her everywhere, and she was here, enjoying a life of leisure without a single thought for her parents. She's nothing like Sissy. It seems no matter what, she's still an ungrateful wretch. Even if we misunderstood her in the past, we still raised her, fed her, and clothed her. To leave without a word, not a single phone call home in 3 years, we raised her for nothing, Harold nodded in agreement. The Lowell Corporation had been on a downward trend for years, and here Luna was, sitting on a huge island, not even thinking of helping her family. She was just as her mother said, an ungrateful wretch they couldn't tame. That disgraceful girl so grown up, yet she still makes her parents worry sick over her. She's not half as sensible as Sissy. Just you wait, I'll teach her a lesson. Harold was furious. Both of them had completely forgotten their promise to Ethan to apologize to Luna. As for Ethan, his mind was consumed with the thought of seeing Luna, and he paid no attention to the Lowell's chatter. He just hurried forward, desperate to see her as soon as possible. Finally, they reached the manor gate. Ethan raised his hand to knock, then hesitated. The scene overlapped with the one from 3 years ago when Luna had left without a word. A sudden weakness washed over him. He was afraid that his hopes would be dashed again. He raised his hand and let it fall. Harold and Martha, unwilling to wait any longer, strode forward and began banging on the gate. Inside the villa, Luna saw the alert from the system showing the strangers at her gate. She opened the surveillance feed and saw the 4 of them. A wave of irritation washed over her. They had cut ties 3 years ago. She had no desire to have anything to do with them, no desire to see them ever again. Alistair was right beside her. Seeing Luna's brow furrow, his heart ached. He gently smoothed her brow. "Luna, if you don't want to see them, I'll go send them away." Luna hesitated for a moment, then agreed. She truly did not want to see the people who had hurt her the most. Although she had anticipated this day ever since seeing Jasper, seeing them all appear before her together still made her feel sick to her stomach. She didn't want to see them. Bang Harold was about to pound on the gate again when it opened. A man of immense elegance and poise emerged from the manor. Harold and Martha's hearts sank with worry. Had they come to the wrong place? This man was clearly someone they couldn't afford to offend. It was all Luna's fault, hiding away somewhere and making them search everywhere. If they offended someone powerful because of her, 10 Lunas wouldn't be enough to pay for the damages. With this in mind, Harold and Martha quickly plastered smiles on their faces. "Hello, sir. We are so sorry to bother you. We thought our daughter might be here. It seems we've made a mistake. We're just so worried about her. She ran away from home 3 years ago, and we've been looking for her ever since. We follow any possible lead we get. Please forgive us." Listening to their shameless lies, Alistair, now face to face with Luna's birth parents for the first time, felt a surge of disgust. They were just as hypocritical as his own. They were the ones who had hurt Luna, yet their every word painted her as the ungrateful one. An unknowing observer would truly believe they were loving parents. How ironic. Ethan stood to the side, silent. After Jasper had returned, he had told him that Luna already had someone else. Ethan hadn't believed it. Now, looking at the man before him, he had a terrible premonition. Could this be the man Jasper was talking about? "Luna must be here, right? She's here." Ethan's voice was agitated. He was desperate for an answer. At this point, he would rather have come to the wrong place than see Luna with someone else. Reading the thoughts on their faces, Alistair's lips curled into a slight sneer. It was a tragedy that people like this had ever had the power to hurt Luna. "I don't know who you're talking about. Please leave," Alistair said, his face smiling, but his voice ice cold. His words sent Ethan's premonition crashing to the pit of his stomach. He knew Luna was definitely here. He knew her, and he recognized the look in this man's eyes. When he mentioned Luna, his eyes had flashed with tenderness, which then immediately turned into an even colder dismissal of them. Behind them, Celeste's heart burned with jealousy. All the good things just fell into Luna's lap. Why was she always surrounded by such wonderful people? An idea sparked in Celeste's mind. She had stolen from her before, she could steal from her now. It was just a man. She was confident she could win him over. Alistair was about to close the gate when Ethan lunged forward, shouting, "Luna!" Alistair's eyes turned glacial. He dialed the security team at the outpost. "I suggest you leave. This is a private island. If you were to disappear here, no one would ever find you." Unlike the gentle man he was with Luna, Alistair now revealed his ruthless side. He would not let them reopen her old wounds. He would not let them hurt her again. The man's attitude made Harold and Martha realize that Luna must be here. They had come all this way to find her, and she was putting on airs, refusing to even come down and see them. What an unfilial daughter. The 3 of them rushed forward. Celeste took the opportunity to try and fake a fall in front of Alistair, but he sidestepped her, and she fell flat on the ground. Watching the farce on the surveillance monitor, Luna let out a sarcastic laugh. They were just ghosts from her past. She didn't want them to disturb her peace, nor did she want Alistair to face her ugly history alone. After a moment's thought, she got up, went to the villa entrance, and slowly opened the door. The person he had longed for day and night appeared before him. Ethan, forgetting his disheveled state, rushed forward. "My Luna, Alistair, come here." Luna ignored him completely, her voice gentle as she called to Alistair. He immediately dropped his confrontational stance, obediently went to her, and took her hand. Seeing this, Ethan nearly lost control. Even though Jasper had told him, Ethan had been living in self-deception, believing Luna would always be waiting for him, just like before. But if she were going to wait for him, why would she have abandoned him 3 years ago? Ethan's mental defenses completely shattered. He roared, "My Luna, why? Why didn't you wait for me? Why are you with someone else? My Luna, I'm sorry. My Luna, will you come back with me? I'll treat you well. If you don't like your family, I'll cut ties with them. My Luna, come here. Come back with me, please." Ethan broke down, sobbing. Luna felt a stir in her heart, but it wasn't pity. It was disgust. She didn't understand what was going through his head. When she was by his side, he loved someone else, yet he put on a show of adoring her. Now that she was gone, he acted like he was on the verge of collapse from searching for her, crying in front of everyone. His acting had always been superb. If he had ever loved her, he would never have deceived her in the first place. This breakdown now was nothing more than wounded pride. Luna's brow furrowed. Alistair gently squeezed her hand. She came back to herself, gave him a soft smile, and then turned to face Ethan. "Mr. Croft, who I am with is none of your business. Please leave this place immediately. Otherwise, we will not be so polite." "No, my Luna, it shouldn't be like this, my Luna. It shouldn't be like this. Then how should it be?" Luna sneered. "Should I have waited in the same spot for you to come back, waiting for your fake love? Ethan Croft, I'm begging you, can you please just let me go? I finally let go of the past and accepted my new life. Why did you have to bring them here to disturb me? You knew full well the relationship between us. What, did you think you could use them to pressure me?" "No, my Luna, I just—" Ethan couldn't get the words out. What could he say? That he didn't know, or that he knew perfectly well but brought them anyway? He couldn't help but hate himself. He knew how her family treated her. Why had he been so bewitched as to tell them? Was he really trying to blackmail her? Seeing Ethan struck dumb, Harold and Martha were instantly enraged. "You disgraceful girl, what do you mean we were brought here to pressure you? For 3 years, you haven't made a single phone call home, haven't cared about us at all. We've been worried sick about you, and in the end, you accuse us of pressuring you. Do you even have us in your eyes?" "I don't have you in my eyes." Luna wanted to laugh, she really did. But listening to Harold and Martha's endless accusations, a sense of powerlessness washed over her. They never wanted to listen to her, never cared about her thoughts. She couldn't bring herself to laugh. She was so tired of being baselessly accused and wronged. Luna's emotions erupted, and she finally spoke out to her parents. "Is it that I don't have you in my eyes, or that you've never had me in yours from childhood? Was there anything she, Celeste Lowell, wanted that she didn't get? From small birthday gifts to Jasper Morgan, I gave her everything. And in the end, I was the one you blamed, telling me I wasn't being a good sister. Tell me, Mom, Dad, am I not your daughter? Wasn't I born just a few minutes before her? Why should I be the one to always give and you talk about me, but have you ever once treated me as your daughter?" Tears finally welled in Luna's eyes. "Back in school, I was always isolated. Later, I found out it was Celeste spreading rumors behind my back, saying I was promiscuous, that I cheated on all my exams. And you believed the rumors without even bothering to investigate. You made me transfer schools, you berated me, belittled me. No matter how much I explained, you never believed me. You didn't even think to ask a single teacher. Later, I fell in love with Jasper. He liked me too at the time. But the moment Celeste appeared, she started spreading rumors about me again, both openly and secretly. I hoped you would stand up for me, clear my name. But you felt sorry for Celeste and told me to back down. And I did. Do you remember your birthday, Mom? I painted a picture for you with my own hands. Celeste stole it and claimed it was hers. You called me an ungrateful wretch, saying I didn't even prepare a gift and then tried to blame my sister. But even then, in your eyes, I was still the ungrateful one. Would it have taken that much time to investigate? No, it's just that you never cared about me at all." Luna recounted the grievances of more than 2 decades. She had once looked to her parents with hope, time and time again, only to be utterly disappointed. She thought she had found love elsewhere, but that too was just a scam. So she chose to leave them, to escape it all. But why wouldn't they let her go? Why did they have to come find her? And why was the first thing they did upon finding her to accuse her? Harold and Martha stood frozen, a flicker of something crossing their minds. Then Celeste spoke. "I'm sorry, sister. I was young and foolish back then. I did a lot of things to hurt you. I know I was wrong now, sister. Please forgive me and don't blame Mom and Dad, okay?" Celeste fell to her knees, crying. Seeing their younger daughter in such a state, Harold and Martha's hearts instinctively ached for her. All right, how much more of a scene are you going to make? Sis has already admitted her mistakes to us, and we've forgiven her. What more do you want? In the end, if you were more like Sisai, no one would have misunderstood you based on rumors. Martha couldn't help but defend Celeste, just as she had for so many years. Watching her mother's actions, Luna no longer wanted to say anything more. She knew they would only ever hear what they wanted to hear. They would never care about her. Why had she even bothered to speak? Alistair watched Luna's heart break, and his own heart ached with an unbearable pain. Get out, all of you. Get out now. This is Luna's private property. If you don't want to end up feeding the fish, then get out. The Payne couple, returning from their walk, saw the scene before them, and their hearts ached for Luna. Elinor walked over, took Luna's hand, and comforted her. Then she glared at the four of them. Having been fully briefed on Luna's situation, Elinor knew these were her birth parents. But she felt no fear. Instead, she took a step forward, scanned the group, and spoke. Well, look who it is. Just the people our Luna cast aside. What are you doing here? Did you think you could bully our girl while we weren't around? Elinor's poise was something Martha, a society wife of many years, could not match. Years of teaching had given Elinor an air of authority that required no anger. Martha was instantly struck dumb, her face flushing with shame. After scolding the Lowells, Elinor turned and took Luna's hand again. Harold and Martha finally processed what was happening. Harold was the first to ask, "Who is this? Your mother-in-law?" Luna let out a small, sharp laugh. She took the Payne's hands and faced her birth parents. "Let me introduce you. These are my legal parents, the ones on my official documents." Harold and Martha were stunned, then utterly incredulous. "You disgraceful girl, we're still alive, and you're already calling other people your parents. Are you trying to kill us?" Harold lashed out. Martha, unable to accept that her own daughter had acknowledged others as her parents, lost her footing and collapsed to the ground. Luna didn't move to help her. She simply let her fall. Harold and Celeste, seeing Luna's genuine coldness, were at a loss for words. They helped Martha up, then looked at Luna with utter disappointment. Ethan had been watching from the side, a silent observer. He already regretted bringing the Lowells here. It had only worsened Luna's impression of him. Luna had never forgiven me. Why did I bring them? The more he thought, the more furious he became. He suddenly turned and started shouting at Celeste. "This is all your fault. If it weren't for you, my Luna would never have left me. I wouldn't have lied to her. I wouldn't have wronged her. This is all your fault. You bitch." Ethan, practically rabid, lunged toward Celeste, startling her. Celeste snapped to her senses and sneered. "And you think you're any better? You claim to like me, then turn around and chase after Luna. You said it was to give me peace of mind to be with Jasper. But in reality, you had already fallen for her without even knowing it. The one who lied to her was always you. Not me. I never asked you to do any of those things for me." The more Celeste spoke, the angrier she became. These people had all hurt Luna under the guise of loving her. Why should she take all the blame? Even if they regretted what they did, they shouldn't be pointing all their fingers at her. Weren't they also at fault? She had only misled them in the past. The ones who had actually hurt Luna were them. Luna watched the unfolding drama, a laugh bubbling up inside her. The Ethan who had once adored Celeste so much was actually willing to curse at her now. His love was so cheap. Celeste was at fault, but Ethan, who had been blind and foolish, and who had set a trap to deceive her, was he not also the main culprit? Elinor looked at the chaotic scene in the courtyard, then took Luna's arm and led her back into the house, paying no mind to the people on the ground or standing around. The three of them walked arm in arm, looking for all the world like a real family. Watching Luna's retreating back as she went inside with them, Martha felt a pang of guilt for the first time. The Luna of the past used to hold their arms just like that, but they had never cherished it, instead scorning her for being unrefined and small-minded. Alistair didn't go inside. He stayed, waiting for security to arrive. He had fallen into darkness once before and had built a network of his own that few would dare to cross. These people had dared to come here and provoke his Luna. They would have to be prepared to pay the price. Alistair's eyes were sharp as he watched them. The four of them couldn't help but shiver. "If you leave before my security arrives, I can let this go. But if they get here first, I can't guarantee you'll be able to handle their methods." Alistair's tone was thick with threat. Celeste scrambled to her feet in fear, abandoning her parents. "Mom, Dad, I'll go find someone to come pick you up." Seeing her daughter's cowardice, Harold and Martha were filled with regret. They had known what kind of person Celeste was, so why had they still believed her? Why had they brought her here? Luna was truly, completely heartbroken. But were they not also to blame? Luna had tried to explain, but they had never once believed her, never once cherished her. At this thought, Martha finally broke down in tears. Harold held her, sighing endlessly. They knew Luna would never return to them. She didn't need them anymore. Or rather, when Luna had needed them, they had never been there for her, so she would never look back. Ethan remained silent. It was his heart's desire for Luna to be happy. But he had hoped she would be happy back at his side, where he could treat her well. But looking at the man before him, his powerful aura made even Ethan feel a sense of dread. He knew he was no match for him. Besides, he had hurt Luna too deeply. After today, he had neither the courage nor the right to ask for her forgiveness. Celeste was right. He was the least deserving of them all. He had wronged Luna. He had pulled her out of her darkest moment, given her so much hope, only to personally push her back down again. The fact that Luna had even been willing to see him was a kindness. How could he possibly expect reconciliation? He, Ethan Croft, was no saint. He didn't deserve a woman as good as Luna. Now that he could be certain she was doing well, that was enough. It was a mercy from heaven that he had been allowed to see her one last time. In the days to come, he would do many good deeds, all in prayer for her well-being. My Luna, I know you will never forgive me, but I still want to apologize. I was a bastard. I was the one who let you down. My Luna, seeing you so well now, that's enough. I'll stay far away. I'll leave forever and never appear before you again. My Luna, I'm sorry. Ethan whispered this toward the villa, then turned and walked away without a backward glance at Harold and Martha. The couple had been heartbroken ever since Luna had taken her new parents' hands and gone inside, and Celeste had abandoned them. They looked as if they had aged a decade, and they slowly, leaning on each other, made their way out. Inside, Luna and her parents were waiting for Alistair to join them for dinner. Finally getting impatient, Luna went out to coax a still fuming Alistair inside. Seeing the blissful smile on Luna's face as she looked at someone else, the three figures fled as if their lives depended on it. Luna was happy now. She deserved to stay that way, not be disturbed by them again and again. Alistair, don't be angry. I'm not even angry anymore. Mom and Dad made your favorite spicy chili. Let's go eat. It's not worth getting upset over people who don't matter. The setting sun stretched their shadows long. Alistair looked down at Luna, his expression softening with a helpless fondness. As long as she was happy, that was enough. Everyone else was irrelevant.